Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. Now, the excuses were flying, and people are basically trying to say, "Oh well, LeBrownies hit 35,000." This is the problem I have with LeBrownies, and this game here reminds me of how do I say it? It reminds me of when he played Golden State before they were Golden State. Game 1, 2, and then 3. I believe they split, and then they won game 3. So they're up 2-1 going back game 4. Now, this was a game that LeBrownies was supposed to make a statement and say, look, I'm tired of you, HD. I'm tired of all of you people criticizing me, talking about me on a daily basis, like I'm not that dude. And it's like, dude, you bring this onto yourself. Don't nobody bring this on. You don't think I don't want you to be successful? I want you to be successful. I wanted you to be that guy. The thing is, you're all, how do I say? You're all brawn. That's what you are, like all brawn, no brain. You're always making, videos talking about on your Instagram. You're always talking about how after the game is over, you want to talk about, well, I know defenses. I read every defense out there. Well, you didn't read no defense last night because they ran your ass off the floor. And Kyrie was having a bad game. James Harden started off slow. So you had a chance to do something defensively, which was get your team up saying, look, man, I'm going to stick Harden, or I'm going to stick Kyrie, or I'm going to go stick Harris, or I'm going to do what it takes to win the game. Yet you were out there still trying to get your stats. And you basically had a dunk. When you had the dunk, you basically sat there like, look what I did. And it's like, dude, that dunk that you had was irrelevant. And that's what you always been. You always been a guy who just, you want basically the glory and the respect and glorification, but you don't do anything to earn that respect. What have you done to earn it? The game that you could have came out and said a statement, and you don't. This wasn't the Denver Nuggets, the little chicken McNuggets. This wasn't the young team Thunder. It wasn't them, who basically weren't finna do anything. And this damn sure wasn't a bottom feeder that you could just eat off of. This wasn't the Hawks. You guys have been struggling against sub 500 teams, and then against the over 500 teams, you guys have a terrible record against them. You guys do not play well against them. And I don't want to hear people talk about the chicken McNuggets, because at the time I think they were in 9th or 10th place, maybe 8th. So they're up and down team. To me, they should have never let Jeremy Grant go. But besides the point, the Brooklyn Nets took it took the game. The Lakers were winning it first. They were getting their calls. Then Brooklyn all of a sudden start going into attack mode. James Harden is, like I've said in the past about James Harden, he's a point guard. He's always been a point guard, and he's a guy who's the better second option. He's not the first option. Down the stretch, Kyrie closed the game. But during most of the game, James Harden was getting guys involved. He was hitting Cabarrot. He was hitting Tyler Johnson. He was hitting Shamet. He was hitting Joe Harris. He was hitting Jeff Green. Brown was getting into the action on defense and on offense. And defensively, the Nets aren't really that bad. The problem is they don't have a rim protector. If they had a rim protector, things would be a lot easier. Communication would be easier. You need a general on the other side of that ball. You already got your floor general running the offense in Harden, but you need a guy. DeAndre Jordan has never been a defensive anchor like that. He's never been that guy like that. So when they lost Allen, that really messed him up, because Allen, what he does is, and everything, Jared Allen is able to guard the fives and the fours. And sometimes if he switched on to a little guard, he can hold his own for a little bit, pushing him to where his other help is at. But the supporting cast was the MVP for the Nets last night. Joe Harris played out of his mind. He was looking like Chris Mullin reincarnated. And I'm not saying that he's better or on Mullin's level. He was looking Mullin-like. Seriously, just shooting threes from everywhere. So, where does the Lakers go from here? Like, they got shot out the gym. They were getting blown out. The refs, of course, brought them back in the game. The refs aren't going to let this matchup, they're not going to let this matchup, they're not going to let this matchup, they weren't going to let them just blow them out or be ahead of them. So, and then Kevin Durant wasn't impressed. And that's what I've been trying to tell people. People want to hate on Kevin Durant. It's like, dude. Kevin Durant, for what he did and how he came back, has been tremendous. However, they're sitting him out because of a hamstring and all that. And to me, like I said, they'll get better, because once Kevin Durant gets back, they're gonna definitely take off some more. Kyrie Irving, he has to settle down sometimes. To me, he was just happy, like he wanted to stick it to him, and then he said, that's your best free throw shooter. Send a shot at lebrownies. It was like classic. It's like, wow. See, and that's why I told you, don't nobody like this guy, because they know what this guy stands for. They know what this guy's about. They know what he's trying to do. They know the things that this guy says and everything, and he does something else. And it's just disrespectful to me. It's real disrespectful. How this guy just walks around saying that I'm the GOAT, and you dumb fans allow him to say it. Now, this is just a regular season game. They didn't have AD, but I don't want to hear that, because if you guys would have won that game without AD, y'all would have been talking about how great LeBron is. He's the best. But because he lost, now here's the narrative. He didn't have no help that night. AD hurt. And then look, they got Kyrie and James Harden. And then, if they had KD, that would have been you guys always moving the goalpost back for this nigga. I've never seen a player who gets the goalpost moved back so many times. And it's the truth. And people are talking about, oh man, how can you respect this? I respect this team because they're going against the league. I respect this team because they're trying to beat what's making the league terrible. The league has been terrible with lebrownies as the head and the face of it. And people want to talk about, oh, well, Golden State's a super team. Golden State was not a super team. But you guys are still going to be living in stupidity and denial. And I just debunked you already. Shannon Sharp just came out and said that they both needed each other. So what the hell are you guys getting mad for? They lost that year. Now you guys want to try to use the Draymond suspension. You guys were calling Draymond trash. But then when they get KD, you're like, oh, they got Draymond too, man. That's unfair. You guys are so hypocritical. The Brownies, he couldn't even post up Landry Shamet. How do you let Landry Shamet push your big ass out the post? You weigh 260 or 70. That boy weigh about 190 or 200, soaking wet. And you let him body you and push you out the post? But you too busy trying to do this cross and step back. You have no moves. Get your big ass in the post. That's where your Lakers need you. If you would have played in the post and moved the ball a little more, you guys could have won that game. You guys have the better team. The problem is you are just a terrible leader. You're not that guy. See, it hurts now that the rabbit got the gun, because when you were teaming up against Kobe, when you had D Wade and Bosh, oh, everybody was like, oh no, that's supposed to be Kobe. Why Kobe couldn't win and everything? Kobe still was busting y'all ass by himself. Pau Gasol was gone. He basically was done. He checked out because Shannon Brown was stoking his wife. Then you had Bynum, who's always hurt, who missing every other 6 games because his soft ass don't want to lose weight. He too busy trying to eat all these hamburgers. And then Lamar Odom, man, he was done because he found out he about to be traded. He mentally was out of there. He didn't want to play there no more. So the things are, I remember everything. I don't forget stuff. I document it in my mind, and then I come back and I expose the fake. The fake is you. You guys got ran off the court. You put up the sorriest performance I've seen, like on a primetime game. That was trash. I could have did something else with my time, but watching that trash. And then the refs got y'all back in the game, and then you just went to go sit your ass down. And then you guys have the audacity to give Alex Caruso a national commercial? Are you serious? Alex Caruso is a nobody. The only reason he's getting away with things he does is because he plays on your team. He's nothing special. He's a bum. Wesley Matthews, you stunted his game. You done made his game trash. You done made AD game trash. Why is it that you make everybody's game trash, but you're supposed to make everybody better? But the numbers show otherwise, that people's numbers go down while yours go up. Because you are an individual who has been masquerading as a team guy. You're not a great leader. You never been. That game last night, I was glad it happened because everybody could see how much of a front running punk you are. And you are. You're a front running punk. And now you got all your boys. Yeah, Shannon ain't even want to be in the studio today because Skip was giving it to him. Shannon could he had to take it because Shannon knows as well. Nobody want to hear about that 35,000 just because you have longevity stats. Nobody cares if you get if you get the record of Kareem. You're not better than Kareem. I don't care what all these content creators say. They don't know fucking basketball. And excuse my language, but they don't know fucking basketball. If you say this guy's better than you, hell no. You're not better than Bird. I watched Bird. I had to go back and watch some film on him. But Bird's technique and footwork was nasty. He was able to take you off the dribble. He also could post you up. He could make the extra pass. He could shoot the fadeaway, everything. The dude's post game was probably the best we've seen in history. So now let's look at this. Shout out to everybody for coming to the StreamYard last night, man. We had fun. We went for 7 hours. That is a record on the page. We have never been that. We've never been how do I say? We've never been on that long. All right, now. Let me see. Now let me go to Basketball Reference. Because Basketball Reference breaks down the totality of the game, not that regular Google, because Google will hide the turnovers. They won't tell you how many turnovers somebody got. So let's see. Okay, so let's look at it. For the game, James Harden played 37 minutes. 37 minutes and 38 seconds. He was 7 for 15, 47% from the field. He was 3 for 7 from the three, 43%. He got 7 attempts on the free throw line. He made 6, which was at 86%. And he had 5 total rebounds, all defensive, zero offensive rebounds. 11 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 1 turnover. He ended with 23 points plus 11. That's good. Kyrie played 33 minutes and 48 seconds. 7 field goals made and 17 attempted. So he was 41% from the field, which isn't bad. The reason why it was so low is because he was 0 for 5 for the 3. He was 2 for 4 from the free throw line, which is 50%. He had 3 offensive rebounds, which is big, and he had 4 defensive rebounds. So he had a total of 7 rebounds, and he had 5 assists. 5 assists, a steal. He had 5 turnovers. He was losing the ball some in the game. He ended with 16 points, and he was plus 12. Jeff Green played 33 minutes and 39 seconds. He was 2 for 4 from the field. He was 1 for 3 from the 3. He hit a big 3 late to put him up some more. He didn't get no free throw attempts. He had 3 rebounds, 1 offensive, 2 defensive rebounds. If he's gonna play center, he has got to get those rebounds up to 7 or 8. He got to, maybe 10. 1 assist, 2 steals, 1 turnover. He had 5 points. He was a -3. Joe Harris played 30 minutes and 9 seconds. He was 7 for 10 from the field, 70%. He had the highest percentage of everybody on the team. And then he had 86. He was 86% from the three. He was 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Got to work on the free throws. He had 5 defensive rebounds, no offensive, so he ended with 5. 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 turnovers, and he had 21 points. He was a +12. And the personal fouls, Harden had 1, Kyrie had 3, excuse me. Green had 0, Harris had 2. Now Bruce Brown had 2 personal fouls. He played 19 minutes, 35 seconds, which is understandable. He don't need to play that much. He's more of a defense and hustle guy. He was 3 for 7, shooting 43%, 0 for 1 from the 3, 3 for 5 from the free throw line, which he was 60%. He had 3 offensive rebounds, which is very key for his size. For him to do that, that's pretty good. 1 defensive rebound. He had 4 total, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 fouls, and he had 9 points. He was a -7. Now, this is what killed the Lakers was the bench. Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot, or I like to say TLC, he had played 26 minutes and 57 seconds. He was 5 for 9 from the field, which is 56%. 5 for 8 from the 3, which was 63%. No free throw attempts. 2 defensive rebounds, which were 2 total rebounds. He had 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 turnover. He had 6 fouls. They fouled him out, which was very atrocious because that really wasn't a foul. They were trying to get him out the game because he was cooking them. He had 15 points and he was +18. DeAndre Jordan played 23 minutes and 38 seconds. He was 3 for 3 from the field, 0 threes. He was 1 for 4 from the free throw line, 1 offensive rebound, 7 defensive rebounds. So he had a total of 8, 1 block. He had 1 turnover, 2 personal fouls, 7 points. He was +17. Landry Shamet was played 18 minutes and 59 seconds. He was 3 for 6, 2 for 3 from 3. 2 for 2 from the free throw line, 2 rebounds, mostly defense, and he had 1 turnover, no fouls, and 10 points, which was big. And yeah. So the Los Angeles Lakers, Kyle Kuzma played the most minutes of their team. He had 7. He was 7 for 13 from the field, which isn't bad. He needs some more attempts though. LeBrownies was 14 of 23, and he played 32 minutes 59 seconds. He was 14 of 23. Which was 61% from the field. He mostly was getting inside. He was 1 for 6 from the 3. This is the problem I had with LeBrownies. If you're 1 for 6 from the 3, he should have been just 1 for 3. If you're not making it, you got to keep going to the hole. So he was 17%. Kuzma was 2 of 5 from the 3. Free throw wise, he had 6 attempts. So as a whole team, they attempted 14. The Nets had 24. Okay. Now, Matthews, they didn't really do that well. But here it is. The first quarter, the Nets were up. It was 31-24. LeBron had only 2 free throw attempts in the first quarter. Kyrie had 2 free throw attempts, plus Bruce Brown had 1. He basically had that. Hold on, let me see something. In the turnovers, LeBron had 3 turnovers. You know, he had 8 rebounds, which was all defensive. He's okay rebounder. He had 7 assists. He was -7 from the court. Caldwell Pope didn't really give him nothing. So, yeah. Marc Gasol he's done. Marc Gasol needs to retire. Taylor THT, man, he needs to play more. If he would have played more, I think he could have been much more. Well, he did play a lot. He played 27 minutes. Alex Caruso, to me, played too many minutes. He played 25 minutes. He should have only played like 19 or 18. I would have gave those minutes to Harrell. Harrell only played 15 minutes, which isn't good. You need him to play more. Now, in the first quarter, you know, Kyrie had 5, Harden had 8, Green had 2, Bruce Brown had 7. Bruce Brown was killing them. Him and Cabarrot were killing them in that quarter. Cabarrot had 6, Brown had 7. For the Lakers, Kuzma had 8, Bron had 7. And that's points, you guys. Pope had, KCP had 4. Wesley Matthews had 2. Gasol had 3. The bench didn't really give him nothing in that quarter. Let's see. Okay, Harden had 6 this quarter. Kyrie had 4. Joe Harris went from 7 to 13 points. He was on fire. He was killing the 3-point line in this quarter. Bruce Brown didn't play this quarter. TLC, he had 3 points. DeAndre had 4 off the bench. So let's look at the Lakers. LeBron had 10 points. Kuzma had 4. KCP had 5. The bench, Montrez gave him 8. Quinn Cook gave him 2. That was it. So basically, Wesley Matthews gave him no points, no nothing, and so did Marc Gasol. That's not good, and they're your starters. All right, now quarter 3, Harden had 7. Kyrie had 3. Joe Harris had 3. Brown had 1, which was from the free throw line. TLC had 6 points. Shamet had 5. Jordan had 1. The Lakers, LeBron had 10 again. Kuzma had 4. Marc Gasol finally gave him points, 5. And their bench only gave him 2 points. That cannot happen. Your bench has got to score more. THT, he basically wasn't getting the ball like that. And when you play in the offense with LeBron, you're not really going to be able to go off like you want to because he's hogging the damn ball too much. Harden had 2 points. Kyrie had 4 in the fourth. Joe had 5. Bruce had 1. In the bench, DeAndre had 2. Landry had 5. For the Lakers, LeBron had 5 points, which isn't that good. Everybody else had 0, including Kuzma. You can't do that if you're playing 6 minutes. THT ended with 7 points in the fourth. Caruso had 2. Montrez had 2. Cook had 5. Then Alfonso McKinney, he had 3, which was late in the game. He was coming in. But Brooklyn had 19 compared to like the Lakers 24. The Lakers outscored them, but the Brooklyn was too much. So there you have it. That's the reason why the Lakers lost. The Lakers weren't getting production from their bench. And LeBrownies was being put on the line. He got 6 attempts. So like I said, man, if he would have basically would have moved the ball more, moved the ball around and get guys to their spots, then I would understand. The game could have been closer. LeBrownies made the game harder than what it was. So let me know in the comment section your assessment of the game. If you felt I was right, if you felt I was wrong, hey, let me know. Thank you for listening, and we are out. Deezy.